In the previous episode, we talked about the start of the grand iconic project on the island of Phuket. In the first stage, Vadim Bukalov and his team were selecting the chief architect. The process was not easy and required a thorough analysis of each candidate. Many, in the comments of the previous episode, also favored the candidate from Presale, the one we decided to go with. As you already understood, this is Muhammad Adib and his architectural firm Divan, which is among the top 50 teams in the world. While Muhammad's team is actively preparing to create the main image of the iconic project in Phuket, today we will talk about an important topic: real estate investment. Economic uncertainty is becoming the new norm in the world today. In such times, investors seek reliable assets. Today, we turn our attention to the oldest of them, real estate. But how has it evolved over time? What forms did it take in the past, and what is it today? Can real estate in Phuket become the new oil of our time? In this episode, we will not only showcase the grandeur of construction in this paradise corner, but also reveal why investing in overseas real estate can become a key element of your investment strategy. In the world of investments, questions about risk and reward constantly arise. Can one expect the same extraordinary profits from real estate investments as from the cryptocurrency or stock markets? Is it possible to multiply your funds several times over by investing in real estate and various other assets? We will compare the potential returns and risks of investing in real estate with other popular avenues and try to find the golden mean between the safety and high yield of your investments. Real estate. It's not just stones and walls. It's a symbol of status and power. Who owns the largest real estate areas in the world? In which countries do people not have property rights to housing? And where is owning real estate considered a sacred right? These questions reveal the global picture of the real estate market, showing how cultural and economic differences shape attitudes towards this asset. In this episode, we will lift the veil of mystery and show how different countries and cultures view and value real estate. Keep watching to dive into the world of global real estate assets and learn how they impact the economy and society.
Today we will talk about investments, how to earn 76% on a similar project, and how to invest safely, where to invest safely, and why. In general, today's episode is about investments. We will turn inside out absolutely everything we know about investments and thoroughly tell you why this incredible project is already completely sold out and where you should invest next. This is the second episode, as I promised, where we show everything in a live format, how we are building the iconic project.
However, before we dive into the discussion of this exciting direction, let's take a moment to return to the roots of the history of real estate development. The history of real estate began with humanity's transition from a nomadic lifestyle to a settled one, which occurred approximately 10,000 years ago. However, the concept of formalizing property rights for real estate developed gradually. At the very beginning of the emergence of a settled lifestyle, the concept of land ownership was more collective rather than individual. The first settlement and land likely belonged to the community or tribe. Individual ownership began to form with the development of agriculture when people started cultivating specific plots of land. The concept of personal ownership of land and the ability to formalize it for ordinary people varied across different civilizations. For example, in ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt, there were systems for recording and accounting for land plots, but they were mainly accessible to the nobility and wealthy citizens. In Europe, before and during the Middle Ages, most of the land belonged to feudal lords, and only with the development of cities and crafts did bourgeois ownership begin to form. Earnings from real estate, as a systematic practice, began to form during the Industrial Revolution and urbanization in the 18th to 19th centuries. The emergence of cities and the need for housing for workers created a demand for rental housing. This led to the development of the real estate market, where owners began to earn income from renting and selling houses and land. Thus, the concept of real estate ownership and the opportunities to earn from it developed gradually and varied depending on the cultural and historical contexts of different regions of the world. So, What is the situation with real estate in our time? What role does this cluster play in the world economy, and how safe is it as an investment tool? The modern real estate situation presents a complex and multifaceted picture, as real estate plays a key role in the global economy.
Why is real estate considered the safest type of investment, and why is real estate included in every professional investor's portfolio? First of all, real estate has always increased in value over time. Dollars or any other currency experience inflation over the years, especially in the long run, but real estate, if it is good and normal, generates income. It provides passive income and always increases in value. Real estate is generally a reliable asset because it is less volatile. If you take other types of assets, like any business, cryptocurrencies, or anything else, they are highly volatile and subject to risks. They can grow and provide many multiples, but they can just as easily fall to the bottom and go bankrupt. And real estate, most often, nothing happens to it for many, many years. And it provides passive income. It is rented out. And again, it increases in value. Real estate is also the largest asset in the world. If we take all assets, imagine all the money, the equivalent of the value of all assets in the world. 2/3 of it would be real estate. This amounts to about $400 trillion. And about only 200 trillion is all the money, all the businesses, all the assets, exchanges, and so on. This is most likely one of the reasons why it is undoubtedly considered as perhaps the most reliable asset. Additionally, real estate is very often a legal structure that has been put into operation and registered to a person. It can also be inherited or used as collateral in banks. And this is also about safety. That's why people most often invest in real estate.
To choose ideal safe country for investments.
War between Israel and Hamas.
Investments in real estate are often at risk of losing their value, especially in the context of military conflicts, economic instability, and other factors, such as these. For example, in the situation of conflict in the Middle East, there is already a potential threat of complete destruction and irreversible loss of assets.
People are increasingly moving their capital out of countries with increased risks.
Anna Danshina is the general manager of the Layan Verde project. She immigrated to Thailand because of the military conflict.
Countries with rapidly developing economies generally have lower risks, which can be observed in various sectors and industries in many cases. I know that many people are now buying in Thailand. Many are buying in Dubai, where you can open accounts, where the tax base is reduced, and where the economic development forecast and political, military, and economic risks are lower, and people are starting to look at different countries. Thailand is indeed one of those countries. It actually maintains neutrality regarding all the conflicts currently happening in the Middle East and Europe. In fact, in the Middle East and Europe. And here is a stable currency that has not fluctuated significantly over the past 10 years and still does not fluctuate, a country that survived the pandemic, where real estate prices did not fall during the pandemic or perhaps only slowed in growth. But from this point of view, it seems to me that Thailand is one of the countries that can be considered confidently, which offers, for example, a 90-day visa-free stay. Favorable conditions are being created for people to come and invest.
But there are also significant cultural and sporting events that affect the real estate market in the opposite direction compared to military actions. For example, the Olympics in Sochi in 2014.
The days when Sochi was profitable, when you could make multiples on resales, are gone.
Anton Ushakov, a former broker from Russia.
Last year, the peak of Thailand's popularity was precisely among investors. People have tried it, and again, yes, it's all about political situations and various events happening in the world in general. Phuket is like the post-Olympic story in Sochi, where people tried it out. People came, and not just those with huge amounts of money, but we, ordinary residents, in light of all the events, came, tried Thailand, and decided to stay here.
Many investors prefer to direct their funds to various countries such as Bali, Turkey, European Union countries with neutral policies, and Thailand. However, among these options, Dubai stands out as the most popular and talked about investment destination. When considering Dubai, it is important to take into account that this city is the result of a large-scale marketing project, as many property owners openly acknowledge.
And yet, marketing does its job.
Clem Medalitsa, the owner of a real estate agency in Dubai.
Nowadays, wherever you look, wherever you go to any city, if you are somewhat connected and at least a little familiar with real estate, you are always directed to Dubai. It is no longer a secret that at the government level of the United Arab Emirates, there are structural divisions such as the Ministry of Marketing and the Ministry of Happiness. So, the task of these ministries is precisely to develop and attract investments specifically to Dubai. Therefore, of course, billions of dollars are spent on this, and the top marketing companies from around the world are involved. People are just overwhelmed with news and information about growth, profitability, and advantages. And of course, it is now definitely such a real estate hub where people are influenced by this marketing and continue to bring their money there. As the founder of the company, I now really do not recommend everything to everyone. This is indeed the case. It may seem unusual, but in Dubai, we do not sell everything indiscriminately. We very carefully determine the investor's request, what they actually need, and sell them only what we would buy ourselves. So today, we have very, very few deals, because we are now offering and recommending only what we are confident in. If a person enters an investment, we ensure that they will indeed enter that investment and come out with some profit.
Why do professional investors more often choose Thailand over the United Arab Emirates?
Well, actually, the key difference is probably the climatic conditions.
Dmitry Shubnikov, a broker from Dubai.
That is, if we are talking about Dubai, it has quite an aggressive climate, especially during the summer period. That is, the temperature reaches 50 degrees with enormous humidity, and your life essentially boils down to being either at home, in a shopping mall, or somewhere in an establishment. Either in the office. Essentially, you can't even go outside because within a few minutes, you're already completely soaked, it's uncomfortable, and it's very hard to breathe. Therefore, in Phuket, the nature is amazing, there is an abundance of fresh air, and this is probably the main and key difference. Here, you can simply step outside, take a deep breath, and feel very comfortable.
When considering Phuket as a priority destination for real estate investment, it is important to take several key factors into account. Firstly, the tourist influx to Phuket is growing every year, making the island an attractive place for investors. The increased tourist demand also attracts the attention of local authorities, who actively support investments in the region through low taxes, investment visas, and other measures. Adding to this the stability of the local currency, the baht, in relation to the dollar, we see the financial resilience of the region. Additionally, it should not be forgotten that Phuket is an island. This means that land here is limited. This automatically leads to a constant increase in land prices. At first glance, Phuket seems like a paradise, surrounded by the turquoise waves of the Andaman Sea and incredible exoticism. But is everything really so smooth on this tropical island?
One of the most common objections is that foreigners, in fact, cannot own land in Thailand. You might ask, how are we able to buy land and develop such projects and properties here? Let me reveal the truth to you. First of all, it is a myth that foreigners cannot own land. Foreigners can own land through a company. That means a Thai company is purchased. The land is then registered under the Thai company. Most properties in Phuket are generally constructed either by foreign legal entities, companies, or individual investors. And most of the real estate properties are, in fact, owned by foreigners. Billions of dollars worth of real estate in Phuket are actually owned by foreigners. Therefore, if you are interested in learning more about how to do all this, including various schemes, contract drafts, feel free to write to us. We will show you everything, explain it, and provide you with all the necessary information so that you understand how to invest correctly and how to properly register land or build your property in Phuket.
After all, not only property ownership can be a challenge, payment and source of funds issues can be quite pressing, especially for European investors.
Thailand, and specifically Phuket, is indeed one of the few places in the world today where no one will ask you anything today. How you accumulated your capital. If you have money and can transfer it by any means, whether by wire transfer or cryptocurrency, from anywhere in the world, you can convert it into Thai baht here, deposit it into an account, build any property, and legalize all your money. There is no such concept as the origin of money, which is probably one of the reasons why there is currently such an investment boom. So much money is being invested in Thailand, particularly in Phuket.
Thailand, and especially the island of Phuket, not only attracts with its beautiful landscapes but also becomes a pioneer in the field of innovations, including the use of cryptocurrencies in real estate transactions. Payment with cryptocurrency in Thailand gives investors opportunity to conduct transactions quickly and efficiently. For example, when all projects were suffering losses during the pandemic, Loyang Green Park was actively sold and constructed, as a large portion of sales occurred thanks to payment forms through cryptocurrency. The project continued to actively attract the attention of investors and became a kind of beacon of stability. This step by developers indicates a commitment to continuous development and the implementation of innovations in construction.
Guys, I also want to tell you that right here and now, we are at this project where we have together turned the trend. Previously, everyone always built as cheaply as possible and sold as expensively as possible to get the maximum margin. They decided to invest in sustainability and quality. Now in Phuket, new developers are indeed also paying attention to quality and environmental friendliness, making these their very competitive advantages, and this makes us happy. But we are not standing still, and we see and understand this, and our next challenge is the iconic project. What is the iconic project? We tell you about it in each of these series. A project that, like good cognac or fine wine, will only increase in value over the years.
Creating such an iconic project will not only enhance Phuket's attractiveness as a destination for real estate investment but also set new standards for the entire industry. This confirms that Phuket continues to be one of the most promising and dynamically developing real estate markets in the world. The involvement of world-class architects, designers, and engineers in this new project in Phuket guarantees its uniqueness and significance. Attracting such highly qualified specialists promises the creation of a building not only with an outstanding appearance, but also with advanced engineering and design solutions.
How do we try to stand out? Once again, by attracting international companies to the project. We have set a very high standard in terms of quality, in terms of content and the extent of infrastructure, and in terms of auditing the entire project at each subsequent stage. In other words, we want to stand out through our infrastructure, quality, architectural solutions, and the richness of the project's content, and more. And the location, you saw it, and maybe you are seeing it now, the sea views. Not all lagoon locations have sea views. Such views are not available in all projects. Most of them don't.
When I first arrived at the construction site, we went up to the top, where the sales office is currently located, and saw this beautiful view of the ocean and the stunning view of the tropical forest. Well, it will really blow your mind. Plus, when you see the overall concept and how the project will look once it's built, you wonder if it can actually exist or not.
And, of course, the project, even at the presentation phase, even at the model phase, as it was presented to us, certainly made a great impression on all of us, on our entire team. I have never really encountered such projects before, when such modern technologies and such an incredibly cool architectural design are so seamlessly integrated into nature. Even as I speak now, I get goosebumps because I'm reliving it all over again. And, of course, we couldn't help but take notice. Essentially, this became the starting point for us to begin looking more deeply into Thailand and more deeply into Phuket. And, of course, we are all waiting, not just us. I am convinced that the entire real estate world is waiting for this project. Not only in Thailand, we are already having preliminary negotiations with our investors who have made a lot of money on real estate investments. They are also very interested in this project. There are talks that our investors want to invest tens of millions of dollars in this project. That's why we are all eagerly waiting for it. I think it will be, an architectural landmark not only for Phuket but for all of Thailand. Thailand will truly be proud of this project. And I think that all those investors who want to invest are definitely looking for a project, analyzing it, pay attention to this project. I have never seen a project like this in my life.
At the current stage of development of this landmark project in Phuket, pre-sale is taking place. This means that investors have a unique opportunity to invest at the very early stages of the project's development. The advantage of such investing lies in the significant potential for property value growth.
But actually, if we are indeed talking about investments and generating rental income, as well as investments for flipping. Flipping is the acquisition of real estate with the intention of reselling it within a short period, up to 3 years. The best entry point here is during the pre-sale period, when prices are at their lowest. In other words, this is the best entry point where you can achieve the highest returns. Therefore, I believe now is the perfect time to get into this project, since it is essentially just beginning to develop and is only starting to be built. In my opinion, it is better to enter right at the start of sales.
Iconic projects appreciate in value because, firstly, they are always large infrastructure developments that are very cool and convenient to live in. Secondly, because it is super famous, everyone wants to buy it, and demand exceeds supply. Thirdly, because the quality there is definitely above average. We are specifically focused and dedicated on ensuring the best quality in Phuket. It's about prestige. It's about the brand. Why is a Michelin restaurant always more expensive than McDonald's? Well, because at a Michelin restaurant, the cost of everything is higher than at McDonald's. If you are choosing a project, always ensure that the skill level of both the project and the developer is consistently and continuously higher than the current market standard.
All those investors who have any relation to any investments are familiar with the term bull market. After observing what is happening in Dubai and what is happening in Thailand, we chose to focus our development course specifically in Thailand and specifically in Phuket because the bullish market is just about to emerge here. We didn't want to miss this moment. As an experienced entrepreneur, I predict that there will indeed be a real estate bull run here. The next real estate bull run.
And the rest of the world is also investing here. This includes all of Europe. The Chinese have really developed a taste for Thailand, and not without reason. They absolutely love it. Here, so to speak, there is a division of a huge, sweet, delicious pie. The Chinese were granted entry into the country literally just recently, about 6 months to a year ago. They flew here, they started building and buying up properties. The island isn't elastic. One day it will end, so right now all these sweet square meters, especially near the first and second coastline, are worth more than money, I tell you.
It is important to understand that the earlier you invest in a project, whether it is ours or not, the higher the risks, but the lower the cost. As a developer, I understand this perfectly, which is why the initial prices for friends and family are the lowest. However, you won't get them just like that. You definitely need to either know me, or know someone who indeed knows me, to prove why you want to invest, and what it means. You know, there is also a concept called smart money. This concept exists in tech. Projects when venture investors invest and help the project take off. But the same applies here. At the early stage. For example, we currently have investors who understand design and are helping us implement this project. Mohammed, we haven't closed the deal yet, but he wants to buy an apartment here. He is the chief architect of the project. Right now, we are negotiating which of the penthouses will be his penthouse.
While Mohammed is making a decision, exciting events have already taken place behind the scenes. a representative of a renowned brand in the world of elite cognac, having endorsed the uniqueness and style, chose to collaborate with our project. Stay with us. In the next episode, we will lift the veil of secrets. The unique qualities of our project have attracted this global brand. We will tell you about the factors that have already convinced this major business of the uniqueness and attractiveness of our project. The next episode will shed light and allow you to immerse yourself in the atmosphere of unique collaboration, where every step is a step towards the greatest heights. Don't forget to check all the links in the description below this video. There you will find additional information about the project and can learn more about investment opportunities. Subscribe to our channel to not miss further updates and stay informed about this grand construction. We hope that this episode was definitely helpful for you and wish you success in your investment endeavors.